Why, hello there, I'm Professor Joel, and welcome to my review of Scooby-Doo, The Sword and The Scoob. This is just an impromptu review. I just watched the movie last night. The movie came out on February 23rd on DVD, and it's only about 2 days old now. And I thought I'd just put out a quick review. This is spoiler-free. So, is this a good movie? I'd think so. It's, for me, average. It's not my favorite. My favorite is Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island, and then maybe The Witch's Ghost and that camp scare one. I like that one quite a bit. This one, if you liked the wackiness of Happy Halloween movie that came out in October, you'll like this, I think. It still has that element of wackiness that movie had. And if you like the movie Scoob, you'll probably like this, as they do reference the Hanna-Barbera history and landscape in this episode quite well, I found. I enjoyed that. There's also a pretty cool montage scene in this where they reference every era of Scooby-Doo, which I thought was great. I'm not going to give this a rating out of 10. There's just too many Scooby-Doo movies for me to really compare this with. And I think the series is evolving, so I don't feel like I should rate it. Also because I'm a fan of spooky Scooby-Doo, and this episode is not spooky at all. There's very little spookiness in this. This is more adventure Scooby-Doo, and that to me made it an average episode because I love the spookiness. And when things are kind of more adventure-y and comedy, I kind of tune out. So Act 1 of this movie was fantastic. I enjoyed it a lot. But Act 2 to Act 3, I was kind of tuning out. I was getting a little, not bored, but just uninterested because it's adventure. And I, again, prefer the spookiness of Zombie Island and The Witch's Ghost. But if you like that adventure and comedy quality of Scooby-Doo, I think you'll like this movie quite a bit. What I really loved is what they did with Daphne. They made her a little more wackier than normal. A little more wackier than even perhaps the Haunted Halloween Scooby-Doo episode we got a couple months ago. I like that. I liked what they did with Shaggy. He was kind of the star of this episode. And you kind of go into the history of his Norvell first name. His first name's Norvell Shaggy Rogers, and they kind of go into the history of the background of what Norvell means. I like that. Velma, they eased back on her. They've really made her a stereotype of like being all science, you know. Everything has to be with science. There's no magic in her life anymore. That's kind of annoyed me, and they toned that down in this episode. I like my Velma a little more subdued. I get why they've made her, you know, more dramatic and such. It's just that type of quality I see in some people, and it just kind of annoys me. And I'm glad they toned it down with her. Freddy, they've just kind of made him a dumb blonde. And that does lead to some humor, but I miss the smarter Freddy that we had in classic Scooby-Doo. I mean, Freddy in classic Scooby-Doo didn't really have much depth, but in here, he's just kind of, like I said, a dumb blonde, just for pure jokes and setting up traps. And Scooby's not really in this episode all that much other than for jokes. So just kind of an average movie for me. I did enjoy it. If you watch this, you know, if you're watching this weekend or another weekend, it's a good Friday night, Saturday night movie. I think you'll enjoy it. I'll probably revisit this again in 5 or 10 years, I would hope. I have it on DVD now, so I hope I, you know, get my money's worth out of it. But yeah, thumbs up from me. Check it out. And until next time, stay spooky.